Hello and welcome you all back at German Check. Yes, you hear correctly. I renamed my channel here from Language Check to German Check simply because I was way too overzealous and thought I might be covering all the languages I speak, but in the long run, it's just not the right thing to do. That's why I renamed it to only German Check, and maybe sometime in the future, I will also provide you with a second channel which might be called Russian Czech or English Czech, the languages I speak. Having shared this information with you, let us proceed with the grammar on the German language. As promised, I will deal today with the indefinite articles, the kind of articles that you use in German to describe a thing or a person you don't care about which one exactly, or if it is just one of many. So let's jump right into the matter. Last time we had a close look on the German cases. There are 4 of them, and if you still need some explanation, you can click here on the information button or have a look at my playlist and watch the previous video. And again, we will walk through all those 4 cases and have a look at the changes of the articles. I will provide you again with the definite articles, so you will have a nice comparison here between the definite and the indefinite ones. What goes for the indefinite ones? They are derived from the word ein, which is the core of such an article, and all you do is again change the ending of this little word. Once again, you have the 4 cases, which are nominative, genitive, dative, and accusative, and again the 3 genders, male, female, and neuter, and of course the plural number, which doesn't care about gender in German. The funny thing today about the plural number here on the indefinite articles, that those here does not exist, simply because ein always means one thing. But what exists in the plural are the negative forms of eine, which we also have a look simultaneously here today. Well, let's get on with it. And for the nominative case, you will have here ein, eine, ein again for neuter, and for plural, nothing so far. But if we have a look of the opposite way of eine, the negative way, which tells that there is none of such things, you will have simply a K more in the beginning of this verb. So you will have kein, keine, and kein again for neuter. But here for plural, you will also have one. You will, because now it is possible to do so, you will have keine, none of those things. But eine doesn't work here. Ein in the plural form, it's not existing because it simply means one. Okay, so what examples we will have here, because today I would like you to provide with some examples on that matter. And for example, I could say for the male part, I could say in nominative, still in nominative here, we will have, for example, and I will always tell you both with the definite and then with the indefinite article, so you will get the idea. So, for example, der Baum, or indefinite, ein Baum. Yeah, this is a Baum, ein Baum, a tree. For a female example on that one might be, for example, something like die Lampe or eine Lampe with the indefinite way. Eine Lampe, one of many lamps maybe, yeah? So a lamp, yeah? And for the neuter gender, you might have as example here das Buch or ein Buch. So you see, this means a book, well, the book or a book. This is what you mean here. And for the plural ones, well, we can derive from all those three examples a plural form, which would be for those three words here with the definite article, obviously, first. Die Bäume, die Lampen, and die Bücher. Well, you see, all of them have die. I cannot form here something with an indefinite article, as I already explained to you why. But what I could do, I could go for keine to say that none of them. So if I start once more the row here of our genders and plural, well, singular and plural forms, obviously, I will have to say kein Baum, keine Lampe, kein Buch, no tree, no lamp, no book. And now it is possible to make a plural form here with the opposite article. We will have here keine Bäume, keine Lampen, and keine Bücher. So this obviously means no trees, no lamps, no books. What goes for the plural forms? This is a matter we will have to deal in a separate lesson, because in German there are 8 ways of producing a plural form actually. So this is a topic we will have to deal separately. So let us proceed with the other 3 cases. If we go for genitive case, which again, as I would like to remind you, addresses the bigger part of a thing you're talking right about, that a little part belongs to. So you would, for example, say something like des Baumes or eines Baumes. For the female one, der Lampe or einer Lampe. For the neutral one, des Buches and eines Buches. And for the plural ones here, der Bäume, der Lampen, and der Bücher. You see, the word here, at least in genitive, changes a bit in the end. It also gets an S more, except for the female gender and the plural form. And again, for the opposite way of telling you that none of them, you will have keines Baumes, keiner Lampe, keines Buches, and now the plural form is existing here. Keiner Bäume, keiner Lampen, and keiner Bücher. Alright, the genitive, as I told you, is one of the hardest to understand and to use in German, because in many cases genitive also has this way of being used in a very higher standard form of talking German. There are also a lot of higher standard German phrases which use this case, and if you come across such a phrase, it is very hard to get the meaning of it. But of course, genitive is in the first place used to describe a relationship between a part and the thing this part belongs to. If we proceed to the next case, to dative, we will have here for the male gender, for the male singular gender, we will have here dem Baum or einem Baum with the indefinite one, or keinem Baum with the negative one. If we proceed to the female gender, we will have der Lampe again with der, but it is meant differently now. and einer Lampe. Once more, you see, those indefinite articles undergo the same changes the definite articles do. And so you proceed here with eine Lampe, or the opposite way. If you want to tell no lamp, you will say keine Lampe. Similar to the male gender, you will have dem Buch, einem Buch, and the opposite way, no book, you will have keinem Buch. Yeah? As I told you, if you want to say the opposite, an adjective article, if you want to use such an article, as you can follow here, you will simply have to add a K in the beginning of this article. And of course, the last column here, the plural column, we will have here for the plural form den Bäumen, den Lampen, and den Büchern. Again, I repeat, the ein indefinite article is not existing in plural, but what we can do is the opposite form, none of those things. So again, keinen Bäumen, keinen Lampen, and keinen Büchern. Alright, and now we almost finished for today. We have our last case here, the accusative case. So how we will proceed there. Now, accusative, as I told you, has this idea to repeat the nominative forms, well, at least if it goes for the female and the neuter gender and for the plural form. So for those, you will simply copy the nominative case. But for the male gender, singular male gender, you will have den Baum, einen Baum, the ends here, similar like the M's in the dative case, you will have here the ends in the ending here. So einen Baum, and the opposite, keinen Baum. And as I told you, if you have a look at the rest of here, it will simply repeat the nominative case. So we will have here die Lampe, or now indefinite, eine Lampe, and the opposite, keine Lampe. Same thing here for the neuter case. You will have here das Buch, ein Buch, or the opposite, kein Buch. And again, you repeat the nominative way in the plural form as well, and you will have die Bäume, die Lampen, and die Bücher. Of course, the indefinite ein is not existing, but what you are capable of producing here is, of course, the opposite way, and to say none of them. So you will say keine Bäume, keine Lampen, and keine Bücher. Well, again, we are finished for today for our lesson, and I hope that this one provided you with a great input on such a pretty complicated matter here in German. And well, if you're up for more, of course, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. And of course, leave a like to push my algorithm here and to provide a broader audience with my hopefully helpful content. I wish you a great week, habt eine schöne Woche, and see you next time. Bis zum nächsten Mal.